For the internet, this story never really ends. Just when fans think the Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber drama is over, TikTok pulls it right back into the spotlight. This time, users are convinced Hailey shaded Selena again, and the clips are spreading fast. It started with a few likes, a few comments, and one interview quote taken out of context. Within hours, TikTok detectives were connecting dots, replaying old moments, and asking the same question they've asked for years: was that shade, or is the internet reaching? Because this isn't new. Every year, a small moment turns into a full-blown feud online. Fans pick sides, headlines explode, and Selena and Hailey are pushed back into a rivalry they both say doesn't exist. So is TikTok exposing something real this time? Or are we watching another internet-made narrative take off? To understand why people are so quick to believe this, we have to go back to where it all started and why this story refuses to stay quiet. And that's where things get interesting.
Her husband was in a very public relationship. People were obsessed with them being together. Were you ever with Justin romantically at the same time as her?
This is so crazy. I've literally never talked about this ever.
To understand why this story keeps coming back, you have to rewind more than a decade. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber weren't just a couple. They were a pop culture moment. From 2011 to 2018, their on and off relationship played out in public. Fans watched every breakup, every reunion, every song that hinted at pain or love. Jelena wasn't just a nickname. It was an identity for millions of people. So when it finally ended in early 2018, fans were emotional, confused, and not ready to move on. And then came the shock. Just months later, Justin reconnected with Hailey Baldwin. The timeline moved fast, very fast. By July, they were engaged. By September, they were married. For many fans, it felt sudden, too sudden, and that's where the tension began.
First time me and Hailey met, I was on an early morning show, and she did not want to be there.
Online, a narrative took shape. Selena became the heartbroken first love. Hailey became the woman who replaced her. Hailey has always denied any overlap, saying Justin had already closed that chapter before they got together. She's repeated that message many times. But once the internet decides on a story, facts rarely slow it down. Fans weren't just reacting to relationships, they were reacting to feelings. Years of emotional investment didn't disappear overnight, and instead of directing that energy at Justin, much of it landed on Hailey. Every appearance she made, every interview quote, every post, all of it was examined. Meanwhile, Selena stayed mostly quiet, focusing on her music and health. That silence only fueled speculation. The less she said, the more people filled in the gaps themselves. What started as a breakup turned into an internet mythology, a love triangle frozen in time, one that never really ended, only evolved. And once social media entered the picture, this story didn't just live on, it multiplied. Because now, every move could be turned into proof. And that's when the first claims of shade began. And one Instagram post would set the tone for everything that followed.
Hailey Bieber posted on her Insta story just like minutes after Selena released this song, so she posted a screenshot that she's currently listening to Summer Walker's song, I'll Kill You.
The first real spark didn't come from an interview or a headline. It came from timing. In October 2019, Selena released Lose You to Love Me, an emotional song about healing, letting go, and moving on from a painful relationship.
I actually worked with Sophie on Good For You, and it was funny because we were talking about how different I was then as opposed to how I am now.
Fans instantly connected the lyrics to her past with Justin. The song felt raw, personal, and very intentional. Then, minutes later, the internet noticed something else. Hailey posted an Instagram story showing she was listening to I'll Kill You by Summer Walker. On its own, it meant nothing. But the timing, right after Selena's song dropped, set social media on fire. Fans didn't see the coincidence. They saw shade. TikTok and Twitter exploded with side-by-side screenshots. People questioned the song title, the lyrics, the exact moment it was posted. To many, it felt like a message without words. Hailey quickly denied any intent, saying the post wasn't about Selena at all. But by then, the narrative had already formed. Online, perception mattered more than explanation. Justin didn't help calm things either. That same night, he posted a strange image, a bloodied cheetah with no caption. Fans rushed to decode it, tying it back to his music era and Selena's release. Suddenly, one song turned into a full theory thread. Selena, meanwhile, took a different approach. As fans began attacking Hailey online, Selena stepped in and asked them to stop. She reminded everyone that she didn't support tearing women down and urged kindness instead. But the damage was done. This moment set a pattern that would repeat for years. A post, a song, a look, a pause, and then speculation. From that point on, every Instagram story wasn't just content, it was potential evidence. And once fans started looking for shade, they never stopped. Because soon, the internet wouldn't just react to moments, it would start investigating them. Once the shade narrative took hold, the internet didn't just react anymore, it investigated. By the early 2020s, TikTok creators started digging deep into Selena and Hailey's past, frame by frame. What began as casual comparisons quickly turned into a full-blown theory that Hailey had been copying Selena for years. The videos were convincing at first glance. Side-by-side clips showed similar outfits, similar poses, similar tattoos placed in nearly the same spots. Some creators pointed out matching interview phrases, others claimed Hailey launched projects only after Selena had done them first. From cooking content to branding choices to TikTok sleuths, none of it felt accidental. Then came the old receipts. Fans resurfaced Hailey's teenage tweets from the early 2010s, where she openly supported Jelena and praised Selena and Justin as a couple. Clips also reappeared showing Hailey listening to Selena's music years ago. To the internet, this was proof of obsession, a fan who somehow became the wife. The theory spread fast. Hashtags racked up millions of views, comment sections filled with people saying the similarities were too creepy to ignore. Others went further, claiming Hailey had studied Selena's life and copied it piece by piece. But not everyone was convinced. Some pointed out the obvious trends exist. Celebrities share stylists, tattoos are popular, and coincidence doesn't always mean intent. Even writers covering the trend admitted much of it felt like a stretch. Still, TikTok didn't slow down. Once a narrative feels entertaining, facts struggle to keep up. Every new post from Hailey was treated like confirmation, every silence from Selena was seen as quiet proof. Suddenly, this wasn't just about shade, it was about identity, about who was original and who was imitating. And the internet crowned Selena as the untouchable it girl, while Hailey was framed as the outsider trying to keep up. And from there, the tone shifted. Because once someone is labeled a villain online, every move looks suspicious. And soon, one small moment would push that label even further. And that's when the internet decided it had found its mean girl moment.
This is me. I accidentally laminated my brows too much.
By early 2023, the internet was already on edge. All it took was one post to set things off again. Selena uploaded a light-hearted TikTok joking about accidentally overdoing her eyebrows. It was casual, self-aware, harmless. But within hours, Kylie Jenner posted an Instagram story, zoomed in on her own brows, writing, "This was an accident," and tagging Hailey. That was enough. Fans immediately read it as mockery. Screenshots spread, TikTok slowed the clips down. Comment sections exploded with accusations of bullying. The narrative shifted fast. Selena was being picked on, and Hailey was standing right next to it. Kylie denied any shade, calling the reaction a reach. Selena even backed her up publicly, saying there was no issue and that she was a fan. But by then, the damage was already done. Because the internet had chosen its roles, things escalated further when an old clip resurfaced from a game show Hailey once hosted. In it, she made a gagging gesture when Taylor Swift's name was mentioned, Selena's closest friend. The clip went viral overnight. This time, Selena didn't stay silent. She commented in defense of Taylor, calling her one of the best in the industry. Fans saw it as Selena drawing a line. The response was immediate. Support poured in, and Hailey's critics doubled down. The mean girl label stuck. TikTok creators grouped Hailey with Hollywood's inner circle, painting her as part of an exclusive clique that looked down on others. Every old clip was re-examined. Every pause was suspicious. Selena, meanwhile, looked exhausted by it all. Not long after, she announced she was stepping back from social media, saying she was too old for the drama, but even that move fueled the fire. Her followers surged. The backlash against Hailey grew louder. What started as jokes turned into real consequences. Because once the internet believes it's exposing behavior, it doesn't stop to ask if it's fair. And soon, things would cross a line that forced both women to respond publicly. And that's when the tone of this story changed completely. As the backlash grew louder, both sides knew something had to change. In October 2022, Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber did something no one expected. They posed together at a public event, smiling, arms around each other. The photos spread fast. Fans called it a plot twist. Others said it was proof the feud had been exaggerated all along. For a moment, things felt calm. Around the same time, Hailey spoke openly in an interview, saying there was no personal drama between her and Selena. She explained that they had talked privately, cleared the air, and moved on with respect. Her message was clear. The rivalry people were fighting over didn't exist in real life. Selena echoed that tone. She went live on social media to thank fans for supporting her work, but also warned them to stop sending hate. She reminded people that kindness mattered and that tearing someone else down didn't support her values. It was a quiet but firm message. Enjoy the music, enjoy the content, but leave the drama behind. Behind the scenes, things things went even further. When online behavior crossed into threats and harassment, Hailey privately reached out to Selena. Selena then made that contact public, asking her followers to stop the hate immediately. She made it clear that no one deserves that kind of treatment. No matter the history, Hailey responded with her own statement, thanking Selena for speaking up and acknowledging how intense things had become. The two even re-followed each other online, a small but meaningful signal of peace. But while the stars tried to cool things down, the internet wasn't ready to let go, because even when facts point toward calm, chaos spreads faster. And just when it seemed like the feud might finally fade, one single click would pull it all back into the spotlight.
The Selena Gomez fans again reading into every little thing Hailey Bieber says. She can't say anything without you guys thinking it is about Selena Gomez.
There's one thing about Selena Gomez. She's gonna find a way to play the victim in literally any scenario. It's about relevance, not intelligence, when Hailey literally wasn't even talking about you. Aren't you supposed to be on your honeymoon? And here's the thing that drives me nuts about Selena is that she'll post shady shit like that and then she won't stand behind it. She posted that for like 10 minutes and then deletes it.
By March 2023, the drama had gone too far. What started as TikTok theories and comment wars had turned serious. Hailey was no longer just dealing with criticism, she was receiving threats and extreme online harassment. The situation had crossed from gossip into something dangerous. That's when Selena stepped in. In a rare and very direct move, Selena posted a message telling fans exactly what was happening. She revealed that Hailey had reached out to her privately to explain how bad things had become. Selena didn't soften the message. She made it clear that this level of hate was not okay. She asked her followers to stop immediately. Selena wrote that no one should have to live under that kind of pressure, and that hate and bullying were never something she stood for. It was one of the strongest statements she had ever made during this entire saga. Hailey responded soon after. She thanked Selena publicly and admitted the past few weeks had been overwhelming for everyone involved. She also acknowledged how easily things online can be taken out of context, adding that people, including herself, needed to be more careful about what they post and how it can be interpreted. For a brief moment, the internet paused. Fans noticed that Selena and Hailey re-followed each other online. Comment sections calmed down, headlines shifted from feud to ceasefire. It finally felt like the narrative might end, but the damage had already been done. This moment exposed something bigger than shade or rivalry. It showed how fast online speculation can turn into real-world harm, how quickly fandoms can lose control, and how two women who never asked to be compared kept paying the price. Selena had drawn a line. She didn't defend rumors. She didn't pick sides. She defended basic humanity. And while it slowed the chaos, it didn't erase it, because once the internet learns a story, it never fully forgets. And 2 years later, one small moment would prove that nothing ever really stays buried online. Just when things seemed quiet, the internet found a new spark. In early 2025, a TikTok creator claimed Hailey Bieber had liked a video mocking Selena Gomez. The post criticized Selena's photos with her partner and questioned her appearance. Within minutes, screenshots spread across TikTok and X, and the old narrative came rushing back. Fans didn't wait for confirmation. Comment sections exploded with accusations. People called the alleged like proof that Hailey was still throwing shade behind the scenes. Hashtags trended, reaction videos flooded timelines. For many, it felt like deja vu. Another quiet moment turned into internet chaos overnight. But there was a problem. The like wasn't real. Hailey's team quickly stepped in and denied the claim, calling the entire story fabricated. They said the screenshot was false and accused the creator of chasing attention by recycling an old narrative. Even outlets that initially ran with the story later walked it back. Still, the correction didn't travel as fast as the rumor. By the time the truth came out, the damage was already done. Millions had already seen the accusation. Many never saw the follow-up. To the internet, the idea mattered more than the facts. What made it worse was the timing. Around the same period, fans noticed Hailey liking Selena's engagement post, a quiet sign of support that barely made headlines. Positivity never goes viral the way drama does. This moment exposed how fragile online narratives really are. One unverified claim, one screenshot, one creator chasing clicks. That's all it took to restart a feud that both women had spent years trying to shut down. Because once TikTok decides a story feels familiar, it doesn't ask if it's true, it asks if it's entertaining. And just when the internet thought it had proof again, one interview quote would add fuel to the fire and send this story into another spiral.
I know Hailey Bieber not talking about my girl Selena right now. The fact that she even said that she doesn't feel inspired by people that she's not in competition with. First of all, babe, you started your brand after Selena Gomez did. Second of all, it wasn't Justin Bieber that you were stalking all these years. It was literally Selena Gomez. Third of all, you've copied her with multiple looks that she's done. You've gotten tattoos that Selena Gomez has. And I'm sorry, but that shit's crazy to me.
Just when the internet thought it had moved on, one sentence pulled everything back. In late 2025, Hailey Bieber appeared in a WSJ magazine interview to talk about her skincare brand and being constantly compared to others. During the conversation, she said she didn't feel competitive with people she wasn't inspired by. On its own, the comment sounded vague, but online, it landed very differently. TikTok didn't wait. Clips of the quote spread fast, stripped of context, and paired with captions claiming Hailey had just shaded Selena Gomez. Fans connected the dots instantly, especially since Selena's beauty brand and Hailey's were now sharing the same retail space. To many viewers, it felt personal and intentional. Comment sections exploded again. Creators labeled it calculated shade. Others said it was another example of Hailey trying to downplay Selena's success. Reaction videos racked up millions of views within hours. But behind the scenes, the story wasn't that simple. Sources close to Hailey quickly clarified that the comment wasn't about Selena at all. They explained she was speaking generally about brand competition, not about a specific person. Even some outlets that originally framed it as shade later corrected themselves. Still, the clarification came too late. Once the quote went viral, the damage was already locked in. TikTok rarely revisits context, it moves forward, not backward. And the original clip kept circulating long after the explanation faded. Selena eventually responded, but not with anger. She posted a message telling people to leave Hailey alone, saying her words didn't affect her life, and that there was room for everyone. It was a calm response, meant to shut the cycle down. Yet even that message sparked debate, with fans dissecting every word for hidden meaning. What should have been a business interview turned into another chapter of the feud, not because of what was said, but because of how it was framed. And by this point, the pattern was impossible to ignore. Every moment, every quote, every pause, all filtered through TikTok's lens. And that raises the final question. Is this feud even real? Or has the internet been writing it the entire time? After years of clips, screenshots, and viral theories, one truth stands out. This feud survives more online than it does in real life. Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber have repeatedly said there is no personal war between them. They've posed together, spoken privately, defended each other publicly, and asked fans to stop the hate. Yet the internet keeps rewriting the story anyway. Why? Because TikTok thrives on patterns. A like becomes intent, a quote becomes shade, silence becomes guilt. And once a narrative feels familiar, people stop asking if it's fair or even true. Every few years, a small moment sparks the same cycle. Fans choose sides, headlines follow clicks, context gets lost, and two women who share a past connection are pushed back into a rivalry neither of them asked for. Selena has been clear. She wants peace, not drama. Hailey has been consistent. She doesn't want to be pitted against another woman. Still, the story keeps coming back, not because of what they do, but because of how the internet reacts. So is this feud real, or is it a mirror of how social media turns coincidence into conflict? At this point, the answer feels obvious. This isn't Selena versus Hailey. It's TikTok versus context. And until people stop rewarding outrage over truth, this story won't end. It will just keep resetting, because on the internet, drama doesn't need proof. It just needs attention.